What's up, guys? We're back with another video today. And guys, listen, I am here to give you my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night, Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Starting from the prelims and ending with the main card. Honestly, this card is really underrated. Heavily underrated. Especially this main event. I don't know why. Not many people are talking about it. And I'll get more into, talking about some of this, the main event with Cory and Deiveson when we get there. But I just want to say, this fight is heavily underrated right now. People are not talking about it as much, and I'm just so shocked about that. But you know, I'll get to that when we get to that. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, starting off with the first fight, we have Juliana Miller versus Anva Puchkev. I'm gonna go with Anva Puchkev by decision. I just think Miller's just not that good at all. I don't know why. She's 4-3. That's crazy to have that record, and you're somehow in the UFC. But whatever, I'll go with Anna by decision. Alright, next one we have Thomas Peterson versus Dontel Manis. This one's kind of interesting. It's gonna be very boring, I guarantee you. I have a weird feeling. I don't know why. I feel like this is gonna be a very heavy wrestling and grappling and clinching, all the boring stuff that none of us like. I have a feeling that's gonna happen quite often during this fight. Some people are picking Dontel Manis, and I can understand why. I mean, I would say he has more experience, but at the same time, he's just terrible. I mean, his record is 11-8 or something like that. And then when you look at Thomas Peterson, right? When you look at Thomas Peterson, he's not great either, but he obviously lost to the Gochmil Gaziev, so I have to give him the edge over Dontel Manis. No, I'm just joking, but no, I just think Thomas Pearson's just better than Dontel Manis. That's really it. Alright, next up we have Gontal Bunas versus Quan Lee. I'm gonna go with Gostin by TKO in round 2. I think that he's just overall better. I don't think Quan Lee is that good that much at all, to be honest. It's nothing much I can really say. I just think Gostin's better than Quan Lee in pretty much everything, I would say. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Gostin by TKO in round 2. Alright, next up we have Marlon Rodriguez versus Gillian Rob Peterson. I actually really am interested in this fight because I like Gillian. She actually has personality. I swear, this is not me trying to trash talk women's fights, right? Most of these women fighters, they don't have any personality. They don't try to promote themselves. They don't try to do something interesting or anything like that. At least Gillian, she doesn't do much as well, but at least she has a personality. You know, she's got the pink hair, she smokes a lot. She actually has somewhat of a personality, and I somewhat like her because of that. So, and I think she's better as well. She used to be a journeyman in the UFC, but now she's actually been low-key on a good run recently, a 4-fight winning streak or something like that. And I think she's going to demolish Marlon Rodriguez pretty comfortably, but I don't think she'll finish her. So I'll go with her by decision. Alright, next up we have Ryan Loder versus Amzat Bekayev. Yeah, I'm going to go with Amzat, but I'm going to go with him by TKO in round 1. I wasn't really too interested in this fight. I was like, why is Amzad such a big favorite? And then I looked a bit more into it, and I'm like, well, he's Dagestanian plot armor. He's got good knockout rate. You know, he's overall decent. I'm joking about the Dagestanian plot armor, but you get what I mean, though. I just think Amzad's better, to be honest. Ryan Loder, he hasn't really proved himself that much, I would say. I can't really say he's proven himself against a high-level caliber. Amzad's not high-level caliber as well. I'm just going to let you guys know that. I'm just saying that, he hasn't fought someone UFC caliber. That's what I'm referring to, right? So, with that, I'm just going to go with Amzat by, TKO in round 1. Alright, next up we have Yana Santos versus Miesha Tate. Now, I would love to go with Miesha Tate, because I like her. I think she's pretty interesting. Her journey throughout the UFC was pretty rough, I'd say. But I would like her to win, but I just don't think she's going to, because, she fights so rare now. Her last fight was in 2023. And, listen, Santos is not good at all. She is terrible as well. And I was going to go with Miesha Tate because of that, because she's, I think she's, 1-5 or something like that. I gotta know, something like that. But I don't know. I don't think Miesha Tate's going to get this one done. I would love to be proven wrong, but Miesha Tate is also older than Santos is, and she hasn't fought in, 2 years, so I'm going to go with Santos by decision, but I would love to be proven wrong with this one. Another one I would like to be proven wrong is Jeremy Stephens versus Mason Jones. Listen, I was actually surprised that Jeremy Stephens was going to come back in the UFC. I did not expect him returning at all. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. And I don't think anyone else did. I thought he was just going to stay in bare knuckle, because that seemed like he was doing really good there. He was on a 3-fight winning streak. and he beat in his last fight Eddie Alvarez. Even though it's an old Eddie Alvarez, that's still a pretty good win to have, I would say. So I thought he was going to stay there, but no, he's joined the UFC, although he is only doing one fight in UFC, and I think he wants to, I think what he wants to try and do is get, one win in UFC, and then he can tell people, oh, I ended my career with a win or something like that. Like how Robbie Lawler did, something like that. I don't know. But I don't think he's going to win, honestly. I don't think Jeremy Stephens, he's getting older and older. He does have the power, but I don't think it's going to matter that much against Mason Jones. I would like to be proven wrong, but, I don't think so. I think Mason Jones is going to be able to piece up Jeremy Stephens a little bit on the pocket. He's going to want to scrap with him. And I think he'll crack Jeremy Stephens, and then he'll drop him, and then he'll TKO him in, round 2. That's what I actually think. Or by decision. I could see this either going by TKO or decision with this one. Alright, next up we have Cameron Sormonen versus Shiri Sidi. What is that name? That sounds like an Australian name, but whatever. I'm going to go with Cameron by decision. I was somewhat interested in Sidi because I thought he was somewhat interesting, like an up-and-coming prospect, but I don't know, man. I don't think he's that good. I really don't think so, and I think Cameron's alright. I don't think he's anything high-level either, but I would say he's still better than Sydney is, so I'm gonna go with him by decision. There's not much I can really say about this one. I'm not that heavily interested in either one of these guys, if I'm gonna be honest. Alright, next up, this is a banger right here, actually. Very underrated fight. Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. This is going to be a very interesting fight right here. I was going to go with Daniel Marcos by, decision or something like that, but then I kind of switched it up, and I went with Montel Jackson by TKO. Daniel has never been knocked out. He is undefeated, obviously, but I feel like Montel will just somehow finish him. I can't really say why or how he's going to do it. I just think he's going to, and I have a feeling it's going to be relatively competitive on the feet and, the first round, but as the round keeps going, Montel will be able to, catch up with Daniel Marcos, and he'll be able to piece him up. And then in the second round, it'll be the same thing, relatively competitive, and then Montel catches him, drops him, and then finishes him. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Montel Jackson by round 2 TKO. Alright, next up we have Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez. Listen, I mean, both of these guys are I would say around the top 30, top 20 of the unranked welterweight division, right? I mean, they're nothing too crazy. I mean, they're decent. They're good tests for up and coming welterweight contenders in that division. But I mean, as far as being a top level contender, no, neither of these guys are going to. They're both getting older and older as time keeps going. But I think Santiago is gonna be the better one out of both of them, just because I would say he's more well-rounded compared to Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez likes to box and use his kicks. He just likes to box, really, that's it. Not even the kicks. Whereas Santiago, he'll want to strike with you, but he can also grapple a little bit. Not crazy good, but he has that in his disposal. He has some kicks. He can do more. He's more versatile. That's basically what I'm getting at. However, I don't think he'll be able to finish Daniel Rodriguez. Maybe he will. Maybe he will, but we'll see how it goes. I don't think so. I'm going to go with Santiago Ponzinibbio by decision. Alright, now for the co-main, we have RDR versus Bo Nickel. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think Bo Nickel's going to get fraud checked here. I have not made a video about this. I was very tempted to make a video essay about Bo Nickel, like how I did with Paddy Pimblett. However, I'm gonna let this one see how it goes, because I'm confident with RDR. I think RDR is actually going to fraud check Bo Nickel. I genuinely don't think Bo Nickel's going to win this. However, if Bo Nickel keeps this on the feet, he will win this fight, because RDR has terrible striking. However, RDR has way better grappling than Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel has good wrestling. He has good takedowns and all that stuff. But I think RDR is more well-rounded when it comes to that. He will be able to take you down, and he also has really good jiu-jitsu, I feel like. The fact that he submitted Kevin Holland and General Meerschaw is pretty impressive, I would say. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Bo Nickel's going to get fraud checked here. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. This really just depends if RDR is going to take him down. If he takes him down in the first round, I win. I'm correct. I know how this is going to go. However, if he tries to strike with Bo Nickel will win. Bo Nickel's not a high-level striker by no means, but Bo Nickel is way better than RDR is. RDR literally has no striking, I swear to God. Alright, now for the main event, we have Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Now, I do want to say one thing. Why is Cory Sandhagen a minus 500 favorite? I don't understand that. That makes literally no sense. Yes, Figueiredo did lose pretty decisively to Peter Yan, but that's Peter Yan. That's literally Peter Yan. Deiveson Figueiredo, I would say he would beat up most of like the guys below his ranking. I would be very comfortable and confident on saying that. I don't understand. People are really underestimating him. The betting odds, I don't understand why like they're like it's such a massive favorite for Cory Sandhagen. I don't get that. Can someone please tell me? But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go with Cory Sandhagen by decision. I think it's gonna be relatively competitive. I think it's going to be similar to how Peter Yan and Deiveson Figueiredo was. However, I think Deiveson's going to have a better chance at beating Cory Sandhagen because Peter Yan beat Cory Sandhagen, and I think it's going to be a similar output. I think Cory Sandhagen will try to wrestle a little bit. I think he'll try to do that, but I think he'll want to keep it on the feet because I would say he is a better striker than Deiveson Figueiredo is. I would say overall he's better than Deiveson is pretty much everywhere. However, Deiveson can still, the one thing that Deiveson does have is the KO power. Now, Cory doesn't have a bad chin by no means. However, the power is there. He was able to drop Peter Yan in like the 4th round. So that is something to be said. And I don't know, man. I think Deiveson could potentially win this fight. But I'm going to go with Cory Sandhagen. And for a more in-depth one, I'm going to go with him by like 48 and 47. That's what I'm going to go with right now. But guys, that is me giving my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night. Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. Do you thought it was alright? Do you thought some of these picks are going to be correct or not? This is a very quick one. I'm not going to lie with you guys. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!